Hello, I'm Untitled and welcome back to the Minecraft update videos. Today we talk about one of the big updates coming out for Minecraft this year, which is going to be the 1.2 update for the Pocket Edition. This is obviously, something that I haven't covered much on my channel because I don't generally cover the Pocket Edition stuff, and it's a really big deal because it's the first version of the game that will be available on the Xbox One and the Switch, bring a second version of Minecraft to those platforms, but it's also a really big deal for Pocket Edition players in general if you do have an Android iOS device, because it means that those versions of the game have become a lot more like the console, and I wanted to explain how and show you the progress that has been made in just the past 2 weeks, because it was kind of mind-blowing to me, and it's something I figured I would share because it's big Minecraft news. So like the video if you do like it, because it helps out the channel, and let us know you do like learning the latest about the Minecraft, like Universal Edition, the Bedrock Edition, or as it's going to be known, just Minecraft. But with that said, let's get straight into talking about this 1.2 update. So like I said, this will be for Xbox One and Switch, and although that's kind of exciting for those, it's mostly exciting for the Pocket Edition players that have been missing out on console features, because it looks like they're all coming in this update. And let me show you one by one things that Algo Jason has been posting on Twitter. So bear in mind he's one of the Minecraft developers on the Bedrock version, this version of the game I'm showing you right now, and just bear in mind that these have all been shown off in the past 2 weeks alone. So the first thing they showed off was banners. Banners are now possible on Minecraft Pocket Edition. This is one of the big limitations on that game. Even the end cities that exist there do not have banners because they just are not possible. However, where they've been on console and they've been on the PC before, they finally worked out a way to put them on the Pocket Edition, and here are 4 being shown off. But it's not just the banners, because next off they showed off the book and Quill, again coming straight from the console version and being in the console style. That seems to be the kind of goal of this update. There's like a decent list of features that are on console but not PE, and they're really trying to get them all powered through, and it looks like they're doing a good job, because after the second feature it moves on to the third one here, which as you can see is not only stained glass itself. There's 4 colors of stained glass being shown off here, something that was said to be nearly impossible for Pocket Edition, because you gotta work out translucency and only let sunlight through. It's a bit of a headache to work their way through, but they've done it, and they've made it work with beacons too, so that's kind of nuts. 3 features already, but then there's a 4th one. Again, this is just the past 2 weeks and we're still powering through them with the 3 brand new blocks that are currently on console but missing from Pocket Edition: the bone block, the never warp block, and the red never brick block. So that's a really big deal, because you can tell putting these blocks in the game is solely just that purpose, but they're also just kind of useful by themselves. Again, there's red gravel, which isn't too great. There's a brand new white block, which you don't really need so much of concrete, but the red never brick is at least somewhat useful in my opinion, and it's nice that they're there as options regardless. It's something that now has come to the Pocket Edition, or at least will be coming in this 1.2 beta skipper update. So moving on from that, we've got the next image here, which is a really big, again, I really feel like, looking at this update, you might say oh no, these are just coincidental features. No, you can tell they're really trying to work out everything the console has that the Pocket Edition doesn't, and I think that's good that if they want people to switch over, they can do that, because they have 2 world preferences, which is straight from the console, one of which is enabled by default on console, the starting map. This is one that honestly it doesn't seem like such a big deal, but it really is. Being able to see where you are in relation to your spawn, being able to see, what your coordinates are and all that sort of stuff, that's really big in my opinion. And then there's the bonus chest, which again, it's a console option, allows you to spawn with stuff like the wooden axe, the stone axe, the random stuff to make your game a little bit easier. That's now a option on the Pocket Edition, and yeah, it's nice that that's come straight from the PC and the console. Then as well as that, we've also got the host privileges coming directly from the console. Again, this isn't just coincidentally similar thing. You can see how it's exactly the same thing from the console and the Pocket Edition. However, the thing that's interesting here to me is the fact that it's not called host privileges on the Pocket Edition. They're calling it cheats like the PC. So even though they're trying to get all these features from the console, they're not trying to take everything from the console, at least not yet as far as I can tell, which is interesting. It looks like they're still taking some of their own little system that makes sense, like activating cheats instead of host privileges. Again, whether that actually makes sense, or whether that's just them trying to be different about it and not seem like it's just the same features, I'm not entirely certain, but I thought that was interesting that it's the exact same settings worded in the exact same way. Fire spreads, TNT explodes, mob spawning, natural regeneration, just a few changes like do daylight cycle instead of I think it's just called daylight cycle on console. There's a few tiny changes like that, but the fact that everything else is left exactly the same is very, very intriguing to say the least. So yeah, that's already, as well as having commands on the Pocket Edition, they want to have host privileges to make it a little bit easier for you too. Then we've got Ravines finally made possible. This is one of the big technical hurdles for them to jump. They finally made Ravines possible on the Pocket Edition. Then we've got here, as you can see, jukeboxes and music discs. So 9 music discs in the jukeboxes finally there. The hurdle behind this one was, I believe, the amount of file size it adds to add music to the game was a really big deal, but it looks like they've decided let's just do it anyway. So there's jukeboxes and music discs, and again, this shows that not only are they willing to go through the effort and make this giant update to try and get as many of the console features as they can, but they're also willing to break one of their previously unbroke rules, because I think they said that adding music to Minecraft would double the file size before, or sometimes even more than that, and it looks like they're willing to do that, at the very least just making it so that on console it's the same consistent experience where you have the music discs. And again, I find that to be just a little bit interesting. But with that said, this update also contains Parrots. That's right, even features as small as a mob have to be taken over there, which again, fascinating to say the least. And then finally, as you can see right here, this is from the 4th of July, the time that they actually just about, I think this was the last week they showed off. As As you can see, one of the big features from the console, the fireworks, again, they were on console and then, like, they've craftable there, they've come to the Pocket Edition too. So it looks like fireworks are coming to console, as well as all of these other features. That's like 14, and there's still more to come. Brand new features coming from the console straight to the Pocket Edition. And I think, again, this is really good news if you're a console player and you are really worried about the Switch. It looks like minigames are definitely not coming over, which is a bit of a bummer, but it means at least the rest of the features, they're trying to make it, like, worthwhile in some way, like everything's gonna come over, don't worry. And I guess they kind of have to do it to make it so your existing worlds can transfer over, because you've got to think, like, if you want your Xbox One world to transfer from the current Xbox One to the brand new Xbox One version, you'd need to make it so all the things are there, because what if your Parrot's just not there, and oh, there's no Parrot feature, so I guess that's not existent. So I guess every single feature from the console is going to have to come over, and you know, that's really good news for Pocket Edition players. I think, like, for console players, it's just like, oh yeah, the thing we expected is going to be true, but for Pocket Edition players, just all of these console features you'd be missing are now coming out of necessity, and I think that's why they call it better together, because it's better for the console players, because now you've got two options, and it's better for the Pocket Edition players, because now, you know, you've got the console stuff that you were missing out on before, and you got it for the same low price that you pay on the Pocket Edition. So this is just something I wanted to mention. If you are a Pocket Edition player, you haven't been following the news, or if you do play console mainly, but you just have a phone, or you have an Android tablet, you play on, like, the bus or something, it's really good news for that sort of thing, that not only will you be able to play your same world on all the versions, but also it looks like all of the same features will eventually be going across them, which is just, again, good news. Feature parity, good stuff. So thank you very much for watching today's video. Like it if you did like it, share if you really liked it, subscribe if you're around here, let me know if you want to see more Pocket Edition news as this stuff comes out, but for now, I hope you all enjoyed it, because I'll see you all next time. Bye!